What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and we are back with another top 10 list. This time, the top 10 Copper Age books I'd still be buying right now. We all know the market is heated, things are going crazy, but these are 10 books that I've picked out that I think will stand the test of time, and I'd add them to my collection right now. So with that said, before we get started on this list, like always, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, guys. If you're not a subscriber, I want you to go ahead and smash that like button for me. This way, it helps the channel out and kind of gets the video out there to people who haven't seen my stuff. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into the top 10. At number 10 is one of my all-time favorite storylines. It is a copy of Batman number 428, The Death of Robin. Now, when I was growing up as a kid, this was the big moment for me, comics-wise, the death of Robin. Robin was always Batman's sidekick and friend, and when he actually was killed by the Joker in this series, it took a toll on me, took a toll on my friends. It was a huge happening back in comics back in the day, and I don't understand why this book and this series is so undervalued. To me, it is definitely on my list, and it hasn't had any love shown to it. I am waiting for the day that Warner Brothers and DC actually bring this story to life on the big screen. We haven't seen Robin in quite some time. It would be great to get a great Batman story with a great Robin and the death of Robin by the Joker. It would be unbelievable to finally see this story play out on the big screen. Here's hoping that we get it someday. Monetary wise, a CGC 9.6 sold this month only for $159, which is really cheap for a major happening in comics. Now, we all know we've had a bunch of different Robins show up in the DC universe. This one happens to be my favorite, and it appears at number 10 on my list. At number 9 is a copy of Thor 337, the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill, who we may or may not get a first glance at in the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think he was supposed to appear in an earlier Guardians movie, and it didn't happen, but either way, I'm hoping this character finally gets his due in the MCU in that movie. With that said, a CGC 9.6 sold this month for only $390. To me, this is a good investment, and when Beta Ray Bill finally shows up on the screen, I think this book will get another pop. Coming in at number 8 is a copy of Wolverine 1 from the Limited Series. This amazing Frank Miller cover is one of my all-time favorite covers. At one point, I've owned multiple copies of this book. I am now down to one copy. It is not a graded book. I do have it in the raw form, but either way, it is a highly speculative book right now with Wolverine coming to the MCU in the near future. Now, a CGC 9.4 recently sold this month, July, for only $170, which is really underpriced in my opinion. You can go out and get a 9.4 slab right now of this book for under 200 bucks. I say go out and grab it. Coming in at number 7 is one of my all-time favorite storylines as well, Secret Wars number 8. The first appearance, not really a first appearance, the origin of the black suit and finding out it is this symbiote and how it attaches to Peter Parker. I've talked about this book multiple times in my previous videos. When the symbiote finally attaches himself to Peter Parker in the MCU or the Sonyverse, this book is going to go bananas. I think I own 3 or 4 copies of this book right now, a few raw and a few graded. I would be snatching these up in droves if I didn't have a copy right now, because I do believe eventually it's going to happen. We're going to see it happen in either the MCU or the Sonyverse. Now, the CGC 9.6, believe it or not, only sold for $350 this month. A 9.8 of this book is highly more expensive than a 9.6. That's why a lot of these books I'm suggesting 9.4, 9.6. But before I go any further with this list, please keep in mind these are Copper Age books from the 1980s and on. There are a lot of copies available of these books, so don't just go out and buy willy-nilly. Stick to the higher grade copies if you can find them. They will give you the best return. Coming in at number 6 is a copy of Xmen number 221, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. We all know that the X-Men are coming to the MCU. There's no secret there. It's just a matter of when, and I believe you will see characters that have never been used before in the X-Men film. So Mr. Sinister is one of my top picks, and believe it or not, a CGC 9.6 this month only sold for $255, which to me is severely underpriced for a Copper Age book and one of the most beautiful covers that you will ever see. That appears at number 6 on my list. Coming in at number 5 is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 252, the first appearance of the black costume in the main title. Now, I will say this, I know there is some discrepancy from which first appearance is first on the black suit. I believe it's Amazing Spider-Man 252. It has got the beautiful homage cover to Amazing Fantasy 15. And with that said, it is the money book. CGC 9.4 recently sold this month for $389. And with that said, just like Secret Wars number 8, I'd be adding them to my collection at high grade if I can, anytime I see them. Because like I said before, once a symbiote shows up on Peter Parker and that black suit attaches itself to him, it's over. This book is going to double and triple. At number 4 is a copy of Xmen 266, the first full appearance of Gambit. Yet another first appearance discrepancy. I'm making this Xmen 266 as the first appearance of Gambit. It is the money book as well. One of my favorite Copper Age covers with the blues and the purples. Gambit is a fan favorite, and I do expect him in the MCU sooner rather than later because they have not used him yet, as opposed to the other characters that they already have used. Again, a CGC 9.4 can only be had for only $250. That was the last sale this month, July. So to me, you get a really high-grade book for a really cheap price. I would stick from 9.4 to 9.8 in this book if you guys can afford them. Coming in at number 3, another personal favorite of mine, Amazing Spider-Man number 238, the first appearance of the Hobgoblin. We've all seen Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds in the MCU, and we know he's lost a ton of weight recently. Could this be he's going to don the Goblin's outfit and show up in the MCU? I have no idea, but either way, that's what I'm hoping for. I believe the Green Goblin will show up first, and down the line, maybe we will get a Hobgoblin, maybe in his own Disney Plus show. Who knows? But either way, this book is relatively hot. One of the hotter Copper Age books there is right now. I'd be picking up this book in a 9.0 or higher if I can, with the tattoos. Stay away from the books that don't have them. I do believe the ones with them have a better chance of going higher in value. Now, a CGC 9.4 recently sold this month as well, July, for $799. So this book is heating up, going crazy right now. So if you don't have a copy, I suggest you add one. Coming in at number 2 is everybody's favorite mutant, Deadpool and New Mutants 98. This book took a quantum leap when Ryan Reynolds donned the costume for the first time, and we saw him in that trailer. This book doubled and tripled overnight, and I am fully expecting the same thing to happen when he dons that costume in the MCU, whether it's in his own movie or even just a cameo appearance. People are going to go nuts. This book again will double in price. The only caution I will say is that there are a lot of copies out there of this book, so please stick to the higher grades, anywhere from a 9.4 to a 9.8. I'd even say 9.6 to 9.8. And the last 9.6 sale was this month, was for $731. Like I said, there are a lot of copies out there, so you guys have to be careful. Stick to the high grades if you guys can snatch them. That brings us to number 1 on my list, and it is the most famous, probably Copper Age book out there. Now, let me say this, it is not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. I decided not to put that book on this list only for the fact that there are only 3,000 copies in existence of the first print, and it is astronomically priced. But if you can afford one, be my guest, go ahead and grab one. That book will continue to go up because they are so scarce. But number 1 on my list is probably one of the most popular characters out there, Venom and Amazing Spider-Man number 300. This amazing Todd McFarlane cover blasted onto the scene, I believe, in 1988, and it has been a hot book ever since. The last sale for a 9.4 this month was $1,250. Again, like all these other Copper Age books, there are a lot of copies out there, so I would stick anywhere from a 9.2 to a 9.8. To be honest, if you can get a 9.4 or higher, that's what I would do because there are a lot of them out there. Beautiful looking copy, but like Secret Wars number 8 and Amazing Spider-Man 252, we've already seen Venom in the Spider-Verse, the Sonyverse. If we see him in the MCU, again, this book is going to go bananas. I'm talking double or tripling overnight. If you don't have a copy of this book, it is really, really pricey right now. I'd wait for a little bit of a dip, but if you can pounce on one, add it to your collection because this long term down the road has the greatest possibility of going a lot higher because of the popularity of Venom and of course Spider-Man. So that appears at number 1 on my Copper Age list. That's it for the list, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is Lawrence at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you always for watching. Share this video if you can, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of it. If I missed any books, if you'd rather have other ones on the list, let me know. I always appreciate hearing what you guys said. So with that said, I will talk to you guys soon.